Making that morning commute. Springfield City Utilities power plant right over here. Of course, you can't hardly see it because of the kind of little glimpse. There we go. I always like driving by that in the early morning because the place is all lit up. When it's cold out, looks like it's on fire, you know, all the steam coming off the coal or the water, whatever they got going on over there. I've cut a lot of logs right in this area, cut a lot of good timber right here. But I've never been, of course, you can't get real close to the power plant. It's not like you can just drive around and tour the place on your own free will. They keep her on lockdown, but crossing over 60 highway here, of course, Republic's just right there, Springfield's over here. Yeah, we do cut a lot of real good timber right in here, a lot of good walnut. A lot of good walnut. This whole drive, it ain't much fun, but of course, I live down here in Springfield. I stay down here a lot. I stay up at Stockton a lot too. Just depends on where we're working, what I got going on up there, what I got going on here. So I'm back and forth, but the last week I've been down here in Springfield a lot, trying to get things taken care of down here with logger threads and timber tracker stuff. So of course we got the office in downtown Springfield, so it just makes it handy to stay up here, down here, whatever you want to call it, here, stay here. So we're gonna go out. I'm gonna meet up with Dad. We're gonna have a log sale first thing this morning. Well, not first. Well, first thing, I guess. About 7:30, we're gonna have a log sale. Then I think me and Brandon, he messaged me late last night. I think we're gonna try to get that trailer glued together, finish working on it, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll be back in the timber cutting. We'll probably let it dry out just another day, but tomorrow we'll be back to cutting logs, thankfully. So, onward. Dad's pretty sneaky sometimes. He'll buy these little jobs of walnut and not tell me about them until it's time to do them. I really didn't think we'd have much going on today. I thought the only thing I had to do is help Brandon work on the trailer. But at the log sale this morning, Dad said, go get the skid steer and let's go get some logs. Of course, who might argue with that? And like I said, the importance of these things, we wouldn't be working today if it wasn't for this. It's wet. I mean, there's water running out everywhere. I mean, it's wet everywhere. I'll have to back out of here. I'll have to be careful not to get stuck in here, actually. This road isn't that old, and the base isn't that deep on it. There we go. Rough. But yeah, like I said, we couldn't think of course, I don't think there's that many trees here, and Dad does that a lot. Of course, I try to as well. We'll try to just buy a handful of trees sometimes, especially if they're local. Then we'll haul them back to our yard for merchandising and hold them until we get a big bunch of them, kind of like what we did today. I think we sold 8,200 feet this morning. 8219 if you want to get particular and technical and real exact about things, but yeah, I couldn't justify dragging a skidder over here to do this. And even with it wet, we'd make tracks and ruts and make a mess of things, but the skid steer, we can do it. That's a pretty good log there. Dad said they were good logs. So, let me see here. Let's try to do this again real quick. This never really works. Not like I want it to ever anyway, but we'll try it again, see if we can. I can already tell you that's not gonna. Alright. Let's see if I can use two hands here to get this thing. That's heavy. That is heavy. Back into the machines off the ground a little bit. Let's see if we can get turned around here. Oh, about dropped you. About dropped you. that's a pretty good size log there. It's got a pretty good log in it. It's got a good veneer log in it. We'll take it up here. Oh boy, rough. We'll put all these in a centralized location. That way we can pull up alongside them with the Mac and just load up and take them back to the yard. Because really, we might be maybe 3.5 or 4 miles from Dad's yard. So we're pretty close. Heck of a view up here. Kind of see back there behind the truck. It's the river valley down through there. But I'm gonna have to go back to using 2 hands here real quick. Now we're gonna push on this tree here just a little bit with the skid steer. Dad will put a notch, and I don't know if, let me rephrase that. I don't know that he'll put a notch in the backside of it. He might just leave a little bit on that backside hold, and I'll just raise the boom up here and give it a push it on over. There's really, the only thing back this way is the road that we'd have to worry about getting into. There's no fence or anything, just the top of it would graze the road, and there's not a lot of traffic on this little stretch of road right here anyway, this little gravel road. But still, I don't want to have to clean a treetop out of the road, and we want to put it up here in this little patch of brush. So this, I had to move this whole, because they pushed out an old fence here. They're getting ready to build a new one, but they shoved this little thing here up against this walnut tree, and it knocked off a bunch of dirt off that root wad. So I was trying to clear that root wad out. Dad drove up in his truck to get the axe off the back of my work truck so we can bark this before we cut it, because if we don't, we'll be dullless, because it'll be full of dirt and rock and nasty stuff that chains don't like. Pretty good tree here too. I think Dad said the other few are back towards the northern end of the 40 here. We've cut a lot of good walnut right here in this area. It's these old limestone hills right in here. They really grow this walnut good. Really walnut country right through here. We got it pushed over, no problem. This is a pretty good log too. It's got a little more lumber in the top of it. I'm just packing them out tree length, which I know for a lot of you guys in a lot of places, tree length means 30, 40, 50, 60 feet. Well, it doesn't so much mean that here in Southwest Missouri in a lot of cases, especially these walnut. These here on the hillsides anyway. I mean, every now and then we'll get in the river bottoms and cut some tall stuff, but these old hillside trees are just usually pretty short-bodied. I'm gonna pack it right out here with this other one Dad's getting. He's in the process of marking that one up. He'll buck it to length. Whoa, boy. He'll mark it to length and buck it. Then I'll get this one laid in there and he'll buck it. Then the others I gotta go back here and get in the back part of the place. Pretty good logs. Pretty good logs. A lot better than cutting oak, I know that. Well, this is some close quarters combat here. Old structures, I mean old buildings from years and years ago, obviously uninhabitable. No one's, well, I don't want to say uninhabitable because I bet there's some coons and skunks and possums that are probably taking up residence here. But we got this one tree here. It's not a bad tree. It's the worst one of the group of 5, that's for sure. We're going to push it out of the way. Now, it's things like this can be tricky. There was an old part of an old hog wire panel there. I kind of pushed it out of the way. It wasn't no good. And we got a well casing there, so we got to dodge that obstacle with the skid steer and we push. There's a bunch of tin and stuff in the way there. I got it out of the way. And this is where your backup camera really comes in handy when you're working in tight quarters, which you guys can't see because of the glare. There we go. But I usually just, instead of having it on my settings, my gauges, I just leave my backup camera on in instances like this. Because what we do, oh boy, I'm on a stump there. What we'll do is we'll buck these logs into length here, then we'll pack them on up out of here, out of the timber, which isn't too bad, but still you have to be careful you don't bust out any glass. And like me, I don't even like doing this kind of stuff really, because I don't like scratching up the machine, scratching the paint or anything. I just, when you pay as much for these machines as what they cost, I try to take as good care of them as I can. And that's especially on the cosmetic end of things. I I hate to scratch them or anything. The decals, the paint, I just hate to scratch them. Of course, the old machine, she's 129 hours on it, so the clock's not moving too fast, which that doesn't bother me. So we're going to get in here. I'll put you down for a second, because it'll take two hands, a little concentration here to weasel in here. Like I said, we got to miss that well casing there. Dad'll leave that backside hold. I'm just going to raise the forks up, and we'll push with the end of the fork, because you don't ever want to get the tree between your forks there. We'll just push with the end of it. So we'll let him get going here, then I'll slip in here real quick. This old tree fell on its own. I didn't even have to push on it, but it did hang up, and I cut it off when it was. And I don't like cutting them when they're off high. I know a lot of you guys get mad because I don't show everything we do, which, I mean, sorry about that, but when I'm working, my first focus is on safety of me and my dad. But this tree it hung up, and I was able to pull it down quite a bit with the skid steer fork. It's hung up more. And we cut the first log out of it, pretty good log there, good little shipper. And then I got a short piece, and I was standing on the ground, and that's where I had to cut it off. You can see it's kind of wedged in there, which, man, that stuff's dangerous. Don't get me wrong. It is. It's dangerous business right there doing that. But, man, sometimes you got to do some stuff that's kind of dangerous. That's just logging. That's the logging profession. We try to be as safe as we can about it, but at the same time, it's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous business. We'll shuffle this one out here, and I'll roll it off. Oh boy, stuck. And then I'll fish that other one out of there. We'll take these up there to the, I guess we'll call it a deck. More of a loading zone, but we'll take it up there where Dad's gonna roll up to the truck and get them. I was asking Dad about this place. You know, my dad's 74 and he's lived here his whole life. I mean, my immediate family's lived here in the Stockton area their whole life. And I was asking Dad about this old house. He said as long as he can remember, no one ever lived here. So that really starts making me wonder how old it is, you know, which, whatever that there is, an old stove or something. It don't look that old, but somebody might have dumped it off here. And there's an outlet up there to where there was electricity here at one time. But you never know about some of these places. And that's what I like about logging. We see a lot of neat places like this, just out places that people have forgotten about or they've let get away and grow up, and we see and find a lot of interesting things. But let me put you down real quick while I can fish this out. Well, we're packing them out. I'm taking them, there's 6 logs, so I'm going to take them 3 at a time just to make 2 trips. I'm always looking for the lazy way to go. The less trips I got to make, the better. So these ones here, I was able to get all 3 of these on the forks, but the other 3 I'll stack them up, kind of a triangle type deal, 2 in 1. We'll get them out here and lay them out, get them piled up where Dad can just pull up alongside and grab them and go. These little jobs like this are fun, and because they don't take long. I mean, you can get in there, log them, get out pretty quick. And like I said, I don't like doing stuff like this with a skid steer. I don't mind logging with a skid steer if it's fairly open, but I just don't like having to take the skid steer down in the timber, because I don't want to scratch it or tear it up, bust my lights or my glass. Usually deals like this, I'd just soon bring a log skid or 2, but sometimes you can't justify bringing a skidder. And that's part of the reason why we try to stay versatile, having, you know, so many of those small little 540 series skidders and like this little cat skid steers, because we're able to go in, and when a lot of people can't justify going in to do it, that's where we can. That's where we can justify going after just a handful of trees and cutting them and getting them out when other people can't do it. And that's what I like. I like these little jobs. Don't get me wrong, I like the big ones too, but they're getting few and far between. But I sure do like these little ones. Random, I know, but we just dropped the skid steer off here at Brandon's. We've got to put a new female adapter for the trailer plug on my truck later. So I'm gonna run back to town. Brandon's gonna do some stuff real quick, then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go drink coffee with Dad. I meant to get a shot of that little pile of logs earlier. I meant to get a picture and a little video of it, but we got to rushing to get out of there, and I didn't get a chance to, which I think the best log in the bunch was like a 10-foot, 21-inch veneer log. It's a pretty good log. It really, it wasn't too sappy for Southwest Missouri standards anyway. So it was a pretty good piece of wood. But we'll go to town real quick, drink coffee and talk with Dad, then we'll come back out here and tinker around at the shop. What a mess, what a mess. We got the trailer put back together. I'm about to run off the road trying to get this stupid seatbelt on. We finally got that pintle hitch trailer all put back together and ready to go. Then we got to fiddling around with the lighting situation on my truck, because this new pintle hitch trailer, where the plug was, if I turned too sharp, it wanted to push the plug into the male plug, trailer plug, into the female plug on the truck, and we had a heck of a mess, so we had to redo some things there. But we didn't get near as much filming as I wanted to done of all that. Not that it was real exciting anyway, it was just putting an axle under a trailer. So tomorrow we will be cutting timber, so I'm told. I was surprised that we cut timber today, but we'll definitely be down on the job site down by Joplin tomorrow. They're at Alba, Missouri. We'll be down there knocking trees down. We'll definitely cut some up top. I don't know if we'll drag any, but me and Dad will both be cutting, getting them worked over. They're calling for rain tomorrow night and Wednesday, so it's day to day right now. Everything's day to day, so it's hard to make plans or really make a good plan of attack for any of the jobs we got going on. So, but yeah, tomorrow we'll be cutting for sure, unless something out of the ordinary happens, which I wouldn't think it would, but you never know. So, thanks for hanging out today. Kind of a dull video, but we did more today than I really thought we would. Like I said, Dad, he's always good at surprising me with timber. I had no idea we were going to go cut trees and move trees today, or move those logs out, which, like I said in the video, we couldn't have. As what as it was, we'd have made a lot of ruts in the skidder, and it'd have been nice to have the skidder for those last 3 we cut down in the timber, but at the same time, just having a handful of trees like that, we almost couldn't justify them. So, guys, thanks a lot for following. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on all of our social outlets at Turner Logging LLC on Instagram and Facebook. Check out everything going on at Logger Threads, and go on over to timbertracker.net. You'll find links to the app for both Android and Apple devices. You get all that stuff there. Guys, I'm hungry. I'm going home. I want to eat, and I'm going to go to bed pretty early tonight because I'm tired. We will definitely see you tomorrow, and we'll be back to work as usual.